Joining me now is Louisiana Congressman Steve Scalise. He is the House Majority Leader. Congressman, it's great to see you. Thanks so much for being here. Give us your reaction to that pep talk.
Yeah, Maria, it's great to be with you. I think they're getting ready to fumble the ball if they've got it right now, because the questions are going to start coming. You know, pretty soon the honeymoon ends, you leave Chicago, and you have to actually run a campaign and talk about real issues and be confronted with the false realities. I mean, look, Kamala tonight, I have no doubt, is going to lay out every grievance that every middle-class family has and say, I'm going to fix it all. The problem is she created a lot of those problems, Maria. She cast the deciding vote in many cases to create the inflation. She cast a deciding vote to double the size of the IRS. Let's not forget that when she's talking about now being against taxes on tips. It was Kamala Harris who doubled the size of the IRS, and those agents are now going after tip workers. So when you're paying more in tips today as a tip worker, thank Kamala Harris. She raised your taxes. Is she really going to be the one to fix them? She has no desire to fix the border. They want free health care. You never heard Tim Walz last night talking about their plan. And by the way, it's a very clear plan. They've talked about it before. They want free health care for illegals. They've fought for better health care for our veterans. Tim voted against the VA Mission Act when he was in Congress. Go look up the Mission Act. It was a great bill to help our military veterans who retire to get better health care. Walz voted against that, but he wants free health care for illegals. All of these things are going to come back to bite them real soon in this fourth quarter, because the facts start coming back and you have to be confronted with your plan versus what President Trump's plan is going to be. And everybody knows what President Trump did. He had a vibrant economy. He created jobs. He had low energy costs. Let's remember, less than $2 a gallon gasoline. Yeah. Through real policy, we had a secure border. There was peace around the world. We don't have any of that today, and they're the ones in charge.
Well, look, you say that things are going to turn after the convention and that the questions will start to be asked, but it's very tight time because the early voting starts in early September. So what about that? I mean, it's only a couple of weeks. Then you've got election day that's going to come at us fast. What is the Trump campaign and the Republicans? What are you all doing to ensure a fair election, to ensure that, in fact, people understand the agenda of the opponent, the Harris
yeah, look, President Trump
agenda?
Put a lot of focus. Right. President Trump put a lot of focus when he hired Mike Wadley and brought in Laura Trump to run the RNC, to focus on the swing states. You know, you're not going to see a lot of it in New York. I'm not going to see a lot of this in Louisiana, but in states like Pennsylvania and Michigan, in Wisconsin, Georgia, voter integrity is going to be front and center in ensuring the integrity of the vote. But you've got to go back to a lot of these swing states, getting that contrast shown. It's the fourth quarter. It's time to people. Like, a month ago, people didn't even know Kamala Harris was the candidate for president of the United States. Now it's time that they see the difference between Kamala Harris, and she's got a record. You know, let's not forget, she was in the Senate. She was vice president. She broke a lot of these ties to pass bad legislation, not to save the world like they try to portray in these made-for-TV kind of conventions. So once we get back into the throes of the election next week, you're right, there's not a lot of time, less than 70 days when we get to next week. It's all systems go. Yeah. Everybody's got to be focused, especially if you're in a swing state. You've got to be talking to your friends and neighbors about the facts, not, hey, Kamala's going to help you if you've got a problem. What did Kamala do the last 3.5 years, and how is your life today compared to 3.5 years ago since Kamala's been in power? I bet the answer is not really good.
Well, a Department of Homeland Security watchdog finds the Biden-Harris administration lost track of more than 30,000 migrant children. As of this May, 291,000 unaccompanied migrant children have not been designated for removal. But Democrats are trying to blame Republicans for the border crisis. Here's New York Congressman Tom Suozzi discussing the failed Senate border deal at the DNC last night. Watch this.
The border is broken. But this year, when Democrats and Republicans worked together to finally write new border laws, we were blocked. We all know who sabotaged us. We reject the divisiveness. We reject the dysfunction.
Well, I mean, look, that border deal would allow 5,000 illegals to come into the country every day. And that was one of the issues that stopped that from going forward. President Biden's former Border Patrol chief, Rodney Scott, joined me yesterday, and he slammed that deal. Watch this.
I'll even talk about that Senate bill that everybody lies about and says it was such a great bipartisan bill. It did not touch child trafficking. It left the unaccompanied minor loopholes wide open.
So what about that, Congressman? I mean, why did James Lankford, who is a Republican, push that? Was that a whole setup? Get something on the books so that they could use that against the Republicans?
I'm not sure. Look, we focused on our own bill, H.R. 2, and the House actually did pass a bill. I know people like Swazi want to forget that because he's against those kind of border security policies. We brought a lot of border security measures that Kim and others have voted against because they don't want to secure the border. There were Democrats that were against the Senate bill, and ultimately the Democrat-run Senate didn't even pass their own bill. So this idea that there's this great Senate bill out there, Maria, the bill never passed the Senate. You know, ultimately, you got to figure out how to pass a bill. We did.
Well,
it's called H.R. 2. It would secure the border. And Kamala Harris is against that bill.
Why would they want,
and that bill will work if Trump's in office.
Why would they want the border open?
Well, because they want to have millions more people come into this country illegally. They've said it. Kamala flat out said it should be legal for people to come here illegally. Like, we should legalize that process of people coming into America. Why she said it, I don't know. You can ask her. You can't ask her because she won't do interviews, Maria.
Yeah.
I understand why they won't let her do interviews, but she has said it herself. She wants open borders. I don't. Most Americans don't, by the way, and that's where she's going to have problems. When she and Waltz go into middle America and say, hey, you know, border security, yeah, we've already got it. It's a secure border, remember? They're going to go, no, it's not. I'm seeing 150 young people die every single day from drug overdoses of fentanyl. Yeah. I'm seeing these people coming into my communities. They're giving free cell phones, free hotel rooms, wrecking the city of New York. And where's the help? Yeah. You know, Trump is the only person where they plan to secure the border.
Yeah, and I don't think it's overdoses. I think it's poisoning, flat out poisoning by fentanyl. Congressman, it's good to see you. Thank you, sir.
Always great to be with you.
All right, Steve Scalise joining us. We'll be right back. Stay with us.